Restaurant Unstoppable. What the most successful restaurateurs know that you don't.
A landlord has to perform once every 5 years on renewal. A restaurant tenant has to perform every 5 minutes. There's so many things that can go wrong in a restaurant. You have to have, and you could stay there all day, and you could never leave. You have to force yourself to leave. To have a life outside of marriage and to sleep outside of that.
Okay, paint this picture of trust. I think trust is huge. I like to say, the speed of trust. A lot of things can happen fast with trust. How do you trust your people? How did you set yourself up where you were able to trust?
Checks and balances.
Okay.
And if you're not observant I work a day shift and I take the night off, and by that I mean go to the other office and continue working. If you're not observant when you show up that next morning to how that shift happened while you were gone,
what are you observing?
You're not a good operator.
What are you observing?
How the close was, what orders they placed, or based off what's coming in. If everything was shelf to shelf and fronted, if things were properly stored, if what shift notes were left.
So what things are you tracking?
Oh gosh, man. The restaurant game is you're dealing with perishable products.
Yeah.
And so inventory and shelf lives are everything. Waste is everything. It's your biggest line item on the P&L is your sales. Second come your cost of your goods. And 5% in the wrong direction can make or break. 1%, that equates when you're dealing with millions of dollars of revenue. That's a lot of money.
So I mean, there's this saying I picked up from Nick Cirillo, who is the author of a Slice of the Pie, and he's the founder of Nick's Pizza out of Chicago, and he coined this term, the trust and track mentality. Right? You have to trust. You can't do it without trust because you need people, and there's a lot of speed with trust. It's like oil, but you can't just trust. You have to track. You have to make sure that, okay, I trust you to do this, but I'm also following everything you're doing to make sure that the job's getting done right. So how are you tracking that to make sure that you can trust?
Checklists and physical counts and knowing what your food cost is.
Are you doing all the physical counts?
When you're up front, heck yes.
Yeah.
Like you are everything.
When you say when you're up front, what do you mean by that?
When you've created a job for yourself.
Gotcha.
When you're the CEO and the janitor, you're doing everything.
But you're not doing that today.
Correct. Because I've grown out of I've financed my way out of that hustle.
Yeah.
And I'm on to a different hustle. And
so maybe we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. How did you remove yourself when you had the cash flow to be able to finance yourself out of it? How did you step out of those roles of the tracking? I mean, you're probably still tracking to this day, but you're getting somebody to get the data for you, I'm imagining.
You teach and coach, and you give people incentive to do what you're asking them to do.
What kind of incentive?
Financial.
Yeah.
Opportunity for upside on position. That's remember where I left the first time because I didn't think I was going to get that coveted GM spot. I went to be a broker because, gosh, I'm a senior KM. I'm not going to get that coveted GM spot and quick enough for my time. So what I love doing right now is I'm going to double the footprint of my company in the next 18 months. And I kind of feel like I have to keep the quality staff that I have.
Yep.
If not, I've got too young of a talent pool. They're going to get wandering eyes and going to go somewhere else. And I would encourage them to if I'm not providing them what they want out of their career.
If they're not going to get it from you, they're going to get it from someone else.
Yep.
Or they're going to do it for themselves.
Yep.
So you can either choose to be the opportunity or lose them to another opportunity.
Yep. If you're not growing, you're dying. It's a cheesy saying, but it's true.
Is there a point where that growth stops? Is there a bounce? And maybe we're, again, getting a little ahead of ourselves, but that's one of the things I'm really curious about. Like, what is that sweet spot? Because even you said, my friend, that you were a number.
All right. So, gosh, we're getting so real here, man.
This is what it's about, man. This is not a fluff job interview. Like, we're trying to figure shit out. We're trying to share information.
Right.
And like, these are the hard questions that people don't have, the conversations. It's weird. Like, how do you find that balance between growth and remembering that, like, there's people on the other end? It's not just a transaction.
Well, recently we had a manager leave us, and we applauded her out the door because she wanted something else and didn't find it and asked to come back. And I was so humbled by that, man. And I was so proud of her for asking to come back. Because what Aaron and I are trying to do with everyone is provide that upside that we all currently don't have. I want more, and everyone below me wants more. And if they're comfortable, they can work for us and all that. But we push them every 6 months in reviews too. I have 7 stores open right now. I created one out of COVID for not 2.3, for 0.3. Just opened, the remodel, taking over a second generation space right now. The opportunities are endless right now. I think balancing people being quote unquote numbers, as I said, I felt like I was. It comes down to the leadership being me and Aaron giving real transparent, calling a spade what we see in someone. And I don't blow smoke when I tell them I think you can make X. I think I want you at X financially, and I want you. And it's not just the numbers. It's about, I've got a girl in my marketing department. She's so talented, and I want her to oversee a team. And I want to, you've got a marketing and media company, and whether you consider it that or not, you do. And I want her to pursue having our own media company, and so the restaurant business in this day and age, at the end of the day, it's your ticket times on that steak or that burger and fries or that eggs Benedict. That's what it is. We're giving the guest that great service and value. But with technology in this day and age, if you're not staying up with the times, you're missing a big slice of the pie from a revenue generation standpoint and just a slice of the market. We can talk about delivery apps. We can talk about vendors. We can talk about.
I think what I'm
social
hearing from
media.
you, like we got like how you like talking about growth. It's not about you. You're trying to encourage the people that you're attracting onto yourself to create their own vertical and to grow with you.
100%.